Good morning, students. We are going to continue with the poem The Mouse and the Snake in part 3. As read earlier about the courage and bravery of the second mouse, how the little mouse defeated the snake even when the mouse was tired and had lost all her strength. The mouse still fought on and on, and the snake, without a sound, spat the dead mouse on the ground. And as the snake was severely injured, without opposing, slid into his hole. As we have recapitulated what we did in part 2 of the poem The Mouse and the Snake, we will now see what the second mouse does. The second mouse came up and cried bitter tears for her who had died, squeaking sadly and bereft, cough in mouth, she sobbed and left. This was seen by Mr. Yang when his friend, the poet Chang, heard the mouse's story later, eager to commemorate her. As he walked back to his house, he composed the faithful mouse. As we have come to know that the snake did not oppose and without any sound slid into his hole after spatting the first mouse. Now the second mouse came up and was so sorrowful that she cried bitter tears for her who had died. For the first mouse who had died. The second mouse was squeaking sadly and was feeling lonely due to the death of a loved one. So the second mouse carried the dead body of the mouse that was killed by the snake. Carrying this little mouse in her mouth, she sobbed and left. All this was observed by Mr. Yang, and when he narrated this story to his friend Mr. Chang, who is a poet, he happened to hear this story of the mouse, and later, while he was on his way back home, he happened to compose a poem to show respect for someone who is no more. Therefore, he wrote a poem with the title The Faithful Mouse. He wrote this poem in the tone which was so sad and sorrowful, lamenting for the dead. He happens to also enthusiastically praise the bravery and the courage of the little mouse, as well as he praises the defeat of the snake. And he writes this poem in couplets that reflect the sad and sorrowful state even of a person who can endure pain or hardship without complaining. He then continues to conclude his poem with the lines saying that death and grief are all so painful that do not go in vain, as whether people alive or dead do not get to read the praises in any form. Now, at the end of part 3 of the poem, The Mouse and the Snake, is a worksheet which all of you will write in your notebooks neatly the questions and the answers. Refer to each of the 3 parts that have been shared with you through the videos in order to answer to each of the questions. Thank you.